So this is what we're reviewing today. It's the latest cycling computer from Coospo, the CS600. And it's quite a step up for them because it is touchscreen, it's colour, and as you can see, it has open maps preloaded onto it. I'm not going to do a proper unboxing because it takes too long, so we're just going to very quickly open it up, get it out, and then as soon as possible get on the road and see what it's like and how we can use it. Coospo stuff always comes with loads of stickers. I'm not too sure what you're going to stick them on. The user manual with, oh I see, yes, two-part wipes to put the screen on it, just tucked inside. The usual lanyard and charging cable, and then the unit itself. It looks to be the same size as the Coospo CS500, which they've sent me previously, but the big difference is that this one is colour, and I'm really looking forward to the proper mapping function. We did, as in you and I viewers, we did get lost rather a lot using the CS500. That's partly my fault because I do go to some really out of the way places, and so trying to follow a little paper trail along the screen was almost impossible. This should have a map on it so I can actually see roughly the direction I'm supposed to be going in, but that's going to be for the road test. Right, well I've actually been on some road tests already, and I haven't taken you along because I found it very difficult to actually get footage of this whilst I'm riding. I've tried, you'll see some clips of it later, but they're not very good. So I've brought you back, and we're back inside so I can show you what I've found. The first thing I noticed, which was very apparent, was just how good the screen is. The screen varies its intensity for the outside conditions. So it gets brighter in bright sunshine, and when it's duller, and you can see in any case, it dulls down. And at night time, or when it gets very dark, it actually swaps so that let me show you on it's a very, can you see how easy it is to navigate? It's a touch screen, you just swipe one way or the other. You can swipe up, down. So this is my main screen as I've set it up. It's got 150 different permutations that you can put on these screens. You can have up to 8 screens. I've got 5, I think. It's just too many. I don't use it for training, and there's lots of training metrics that you can add in. But all I've got are the very basic ones. The bikes that I'm riding at the moment, one has a power meter, the other one doesn't, so I haven't set it up for a power meter on the main screen. But I'm hoping you can already see that that's a very clear screen. It's quite a dull day at the moment, and I'm indoors without any artificial light, just natural light. It really is standout. The old CS500 was good. This is a mile better. And in very low light conditions, the white changes for black and the black white. So if that was at night and it was bright enough to be seen, it would glare. And instead what they've done is they've made the background dark, and then the words are inverse, so they're white. And it actually means it's incredibly clear to see, but it doesn't glare. It doesn't take your attention off the road. So the screen also is easy to see with shades on, without shades on. I'm just really enjoying it. By the way, I'm doing this review, they've sent me one, and with no strings attached. If I think that this is an appalling device, I'll tell you. It isn't an appalling device. What it is a device that at the moment is €106. That's down from 140. I think there's a Black Friday deal on at the moment. That's an astonishing price. It really is, because it's a colour touch screen. It has, obviously it's GPS, it's got GPS, BDS, GLONASS, Galileo, QZS. It's got loads and loads of different satellite systems it can tie into. So it's a global device. It does also automatically come with maps installed. I was rather expecting to have to go onto the website and to find the maps for Spain to upload, but they're already on it. It has roads, but it doesn't have trails. So it's going to be great for road riding, but off-road it's still going to be limited in that it's going to show me a paper trail to follow. I suppose the slight difference is that the map is clearer. You can also zoom in and out to quite an extent, as you can see. You can also change it to be from the point of view that you're facing or northerly. Normally you just have it in the direction that you're facing, but if your mind is wired in a different way, then that's fair enough. On the rides that I've been on, I've compared the mileage, the distances and the various GPS functions, and I've found them to be the same as my other computers. So I guess if all three are saying this roughly the same thing, then there's an accuracy there. The GPS has been independently tested and they found it to be extremely accurate, more so than quite expensive computers like the Karoo 3. So whilst it is a touchscreen, the casing is the same as the old case, so it has retained the buttons. So it's got 3 on this side, it's got 2 underneath, and it's got the main back or on-off button. It is actually quite convenient to be able to do both. I found that the touchscreen is more than fine, but if you do need to, you can actually navigate using the buttons. So as you'd expect, the unit can connect to all Bluetooth and ANT Plus devices. It's incredibly easy to add a sensor. You can either go up and down using those, or you can just touch it. So I've already got the power sensor, which is in the Trek Domain Plus that I've got at the moment. That's already connected. My heart rate is connected. If you want to add a sensor, obviously you need to be within range of it, but there's quite a few different choices of ones you can automatically connect to, including rear radar, electronic shifting, whether that's DI2 or whether it's SRAM. You can connect to a smart trainer. Now on the blurb for the CS600, it does say you can also connect to e-bikes, but I've not seen an e-bike field on here. I'm not saying it's not there, it's just that I can't find it. Perhaps actually if you do just do a search with your bike on, it might find something there. But when I've actually tried that, what it has found is the cadence sensor, the power sensor, that sort of thing. Not things like your battery status, which would be extremely useful. So it's a question I'll be asking of Coospo, and we'll hope they'll get back to me. When you finish your ride, it does connect very easily to Training Peaks and to Strava. It's all automatic. It does it. And in terms of its metrics, of course, if you set it up with various monitors, it will give you those additional features. So for heart rate, it can give you how long you spend in each heart rate zone. For cadence, it can give you average cadence, maximum cadence, all those sorts of things, of course. There's not really anything that you would expect to find on here that it doesn't have that I could think of. So unless you have some strange peculiarities and you must need to see the snow level, then no, it doesn't do that. But I can't really think of what else it doesn't do. I've already enjoyed the fact that if you do zoom in on the map, it can show you the curvature of bends that are approaching for a descent, which I've heard about. I've heard people advising on how you can descend fast but be prepared, and that's by a very occasional quick glance down at the bike computer, and it can actually show just how severe the bend that is upcoming is. And I've used that. I haven't used it at full speed yet, but I will. One of the things that I do find on my adventures is that I love descending fast, but if it's a completely unknown road, I tend to take it a bit easy, a bit steady, of course, because otherwise it's crazy. But if you can actually see that you've got a 90-degree bend upcoming and after that it's a straight, you can judge your angle of approach and the speed, of course. On navigation, it does tell you a turn-by-turn thing as well. It does come up. So if you're on a different screen, so if you're away from the map, if you're on the main screen, it will come up with a little notification to say in X number of meters it's going to be a right turn, it's a left turn in X number of meters, which is excellent, but it can't tell the difference between a sharp curve and a left or right turn. So it might give you a little bleep to say there's a turn upcoming and actually you're just on a very bendy road. It's a little bit irritating, but you can turn the bleep off or you can just learn to live with it. That's happened with every bike computer that I've had, by the way, so it's not different on this one. It does come with 8 gigabytes of memory, so that's an awful lot of courses and maps that you can store on the computer. It's more than I'd ever need. On my Garmin, it got to a certain number of rides that you've done, and you had to start deleting it if you wanted to upload any new courses, which got to be a pain because they were always full. So I wanted to upload a new route and I'd have to delete 4 or 5 so to give me space. But with 8 gigabytes, I can't imagine that would be much of an issue, or at least I could put it off for longer. The battery is claimed at 36 hours, and that's when it's in full GPS mode. I don't know if that's true or not. What I can tell you is that I've been on, I think it's 7 rides now, and I haven't charged it yet. And some of those were pretty long rides, 4 or 5 hours. So, and it's down to 22%, I think. Let's go and check. 19%. Also on the screen tells you the strength of the GPS signal and the time of day, but that's irrelevant. Now, what it doesn't have is a live connection to your phone. So even if you're running the app, which you probably wouldn't be, but if the phone is in your pocket with other devices like the Garmin that I have, if you get a notification and you can select what is notified to your bike computer, it will tell you whether a message has come in or an email or those sorts of things. And it can be incredibly irritating, so you turn it off. But it could be useful. So if you're expecting someone, or if you've got a loved one who wants to know how you're doing, they can say, how you doing? You see it, and then you can stop and you can reply to them. I think that's a really useful safety issue. Also, it allows for people to see where you are if you give them permission. I think those two things are something that ought to be on here, and it is something that Coospo say is in development. So we can look out for that update coming soon. It's extremely lightweight. It only weighs 73 grams. I think it's officially 69, but I weighed it at 73. Probably my little scales are out. And probably just as importantly, it completely recharges from flat in only 2 hours. So you're never going to have to go without it. You could put it on a very quick charge and be out the door. So as you can probably tell, I've really enjoyed having this bike computer. It's the best one I've had. And really for the price, it's really quite incredible. I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it. I can't think of any drawbacks it has that would make me not recommend it. The battery life is spectacular. The screen is fantastic. The touchscreen is so easy, it works perfectly. I haven't tried it with gloves. Normally you need little special gloves with a little sort of touch thing in the end of it, so I'd imagine you'd need to. But if you find that your gloves aren't suitable, of course you've got the buttons that you can still press, and I found the buttons on the old Coospo very easy. I'm quite glad of the touchscreen though, to be fair, because it's actually a lot easier just to touch and swipe a screen rather than trying to find a small button on the side. But I like it. So if you're in the market for a slight upgrade to your fairly standard bike computer, this really could be it. I think it's an excellent device. For the money, it's, I think, unsurpassed. I haven't checked everything that's out there, but it's a hearty yes from me. It's the Coospo CS600 GPS touchscreen colour computer. And that's it for this week of Yako's reviews. It's Yako's, we decided on a phrase for these. It's going to be Yako's Friday night takeaways, because that's when they come out. So when I have things to review, it's going to go on this. If you want to see my normal adventures where I go out into the beautiful Catalan and Aragon wilderness on fantastic bike rides to investigate the places and the people and the views and the incredible endless empty roads, then you're very welcome for those. They're going to be on Mondays. But until the next one, which is coming out Monday and is a really good one, I'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.